Pharma brand station. It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, alongside ESPN.
They just gave LaFleur an extension. You know what an extension means to me?
That you get to keep your job, but what? It
No,
means that you
not to keep. I'm doing a good job. I'm doing a good job. They gave me an extension. They gave me an extension. So I'm not changing anything. If they wanted anything changed, they wouldn't have brought me back with an extension. What is hard to figure that out? Oh, he's going to do this and that. No, he's not. You told him he's doing great. I don't anticipate him getting rid of anybody. I wouldn't. I can tell you that. You give me a 3-year extension when I got 1 year left, you just looked me in the eye and said, you're doing one hell of a job. How can anybody look at it any other way? Oh, we're giving you extension, but in order to get the extension, you got to do this, 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 this. That's not how extensions work. You know what you do when you want him to do this, 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 and this? You get rid of him because he's been there for 7 years. If you don't want more of what he's doing, he's gone. Now, this is not a judgment of what they should have done. This is a judgment of, this is like first grade stuff, right?
Well, I feel like if you are looking for a reasonable opposing viewpoint on this, you're not going to find it here.
No, I wanted you to explain it how anybody can see it any other way, because I've been told that I need a governor, that sometimes I go too far, and you're my governor guy. And so if you said, Homer, sometimes when there are extensions, it's not as simple as you say, because I'm only going by the extensions that I got or that I'm aware of.
So I feel like, I felt like it would be a year that you'd go, okay, here's a year, so you're not a lame duck.
Yeah.
But you're on notice.
Right.
Like there's got to be something that's got to change, because we cannot continue to have these kind of and I used the word with the fellas before here, catastrophic losses. Right? There are losses, and there are catastrophic losses.
And they're not disappearing.
And we can't have more catastrophic losses. And there are some, both Bear games, catastrophic. The Browns game, what is one level below catastrophic? The game against
catastrophic like.
But anyway, so you go through all that, and you're like, something's going to have to change. And 3 years says, I'm with you. All's well. We trust you. You're
the Chicago game is as if it didn't exist.
They're not in any. I don't see the trending arrow. That's always the big thing right now. Are we trending up or down? Like, I don't see any trend that's up in this thing. I don't think I see any trend.
I do see a trend going up.
What?
That's the only reason I gave him a year. If there was no trend going up, I'd have fired him now. I think they have talent at wide receiver. I think they have a Micah Parsons. They have the potential, if they can take care of I would say, the cornerback situation. They have more really good players than they've had in a while. That's why I said this. This is what I'm saying, but I'm not. You had injuries. If everybody had been healthy, I think you would have had a chance to make a run at it. That's why I'm giving you one more year to see if I'm right. Because it's either injuries or, as you have stated, this guy just can't do it in big games. And there is certainly evidence to support that. So I think I'm getting soft in my old age. But that's how I view it. I think they had a good enough team to do something in the playoffs if they hadn't had so many their best players hurt. And you could say I'm wrong. That's fine.
So I don't want to. How much do you get to blame on injuries, though? How long do you get to do that? Okay, so
1 year. I'm giving.
Yeah, okay,
it this year. That's
but
this year.
But didn't a lot of guys have teams? Didn't a lot of teams get people hurt?
Yes.
Every team. Name me an NFL team that has all 22 that they started with.
Well, again,
okay,
I think you start at the importance of the players that are hurt. Okay.
Sure.
And they
Micah Parsons hurt.
Micah Parsons is certainly one of their top players. Tucker Kraft,
sure.
one of their
but
top players.
As you pointed out, the defense with Micah Parsons, statistically, no worse, no better than a year ago.
I mean, I'll give him that it was a little bit better, but it wasn't. It's not huge. But I'm saying, but given that, I still think he's good. I think he's one of the best players. Tucker Kraft, one of the best players. Zach Tom, one of the best players. You're missing, arguably, I think, your three best players. Christian Watson's come back, but he was hurt a little bit. So you can say 7.5. Homer, you're wrong. But but in my view, that's why he only gets a year. Now, what I really wanted to do, and I came to this observation today and I tweeted it. My problem with the Packers is not really that LaFleur is too soft or they talk. My problem with the Packers is there's no edge. There's no edge. And every great team and every great coach I've been around has an edge. I don't know what the edge is, but it's there and everybody can feel it. Let me give you an example. Maybe you can come up with the Harbaugh comments that he made today as coach of the Giants. This doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to win, but he has an edge, and he has a belief in something that's that edge. And I have never felt that LaFleur has any edge whatsoever, and maybe a coach has won without an edge. And I will defer to you in all the time you spent. I just that's my concern. But I'm willing to give him a break and give him one more year. I wanted to give him no extension, like Jerry Jones did to Mike McCarthy, because I want to see how no edge does with an edge, because he's got to have one if it's his last year. Because if he doesn't do well, it could affect his brand, and then that could affect how popular he is with all the other teams. Take it away.
I go with some of these guys that are like, I bet on myself, right? I'm not going to take the extension right now because I'm going to go and I'm going to win and I'm going to play so well. And guess what? You're going to pay me twice as much as you could have gotten Willie Smith today. Okay, that's fine. I could have lived with that, right?
Yes.
So let's try that.
That's an edge, buddy. That's an edge.
Let's see if he has like you softened it for him. And I kept hearing people say, well, he's got leverage. What leverage did he have? That he might leave? Okay. That's fine. That's what I feel like from the front office standpoint, it need to be fine. I'm willing to let you can have a job. We've got a job for you. We'll even give you a job for 2 years.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to walk, because those are untenable situations, because why do I have to be your safety net? Why do I have to provide your feather bed? If you think we're this wrong in your ability, which in 7 years it appears by right now the teeter-totter is on my side, not yours, then go. You're right. There's 9 other job openings out there right now. And you're more than welcome to go coach the Dolphins or go coach the Browns or some other sorry-ass team right now. Or you can stay here and see.
Right. Unless I say to you, I believe in you, but not that much. Yeah. So I could send you somewhere else, and I could trade for that. I don't want to do that. I want you to coach this Green Bay Packer team next year, and I risk paying the price if you do really well and you want to go somewhere else. Yeah. Which John Anderson, 7.5, told me I was crazy. He said, if the dude doesn't want to be here, let's trade him and see if we can get some Micah Parsons draft picks back if you don't want to be here. But
if you don't think we're treating you fairly, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But what I feel like we've treated you fairly for 7 years.
Yes.
And the fact that we were going to have you back for not only 1 but 2 after 2 losses that were inexcusable. The best text I got in all of the back of all of the post Bear thing, which, by the way, I don't know if you heard, I'm still emotionally unavailable to talk about, was simply an old SportsCenter producer of mine.
I don't understand that.
Who said,
back up. I know I'm interrupting, but I don't see why you can't talk about it. They were hurt. They didn't, and they should have won the game. They blew the game, but that's not the Packers team.
Okay, so you're saying the team that's good enough to be up 21-3 is the team, but the team that blew the loss then isn't the team.
Correct.
That's horseshit. No. The team was out there.
I think that if they had Parsons, they would have been able to close the deal better. If they would have had Tucker Kraft, yes, they didn't. And if you say you're out of here, but
I don't care. You can't just keep saying who's not here.
Yes, you can in some cases.
No,
yes, you do.
Homer.
Yes,
they weren't there,
right.
And yet they were leading in the regular season game right down till Romeo misses the kick. And so that's not Micah Parsons. That's one of your best receivers who can't
Correct.
do it. The defense can't hold on. And by the way, with the team that's not our team, but they were up 21-3.
They were up 21-3.
Go look at the number of teams that have lost that game, and it's infinitesimal.
Not very often. No, and I say I know they're up 21-3, but they're not
that
good.
They're not that good. You can't play yourself into these 99% win probabilities and then throw up on yourself and go, "Oh, well, we didn't have our guys."
And again, if that's the number that you're looking at, which is fair, then you fired his butt so fast he didn't get back home from Chicago.
I had said afterwards.
Yeah. Then I get it.
I've had enough.
And so now you should be sad because they not only didn't fire him, they told you, John Anderson, you don't know crap. We not only don't think that that's the case, we like the guy. We like the guy. 3-year extension.
I thought we were just having a small detour as to why I can't talk about this.
Hold on. Now
I don't want to relive.
Hold on. I wish to change my mind. I get how you cannot talk about it. Now I understand.
Yeah, because I don't want to relive watching.
No, you wanted the guy fired.
After mistake after mistake.
If I had your view, I couldn't talk about it. And it's going to be hard for you to watch this team.
Yeah, I can't watch mistake after mistake after mistake on these things again and again and again.
See, I would. Yeah, no, now I get it. How are you going to watch the games next year?
Right. Well, nothing will be safe until it's done, but they have done that with everybody.
So they can't do anything. They can't do anything for you until the playoffs. He's got to win a big game.
Yeah. Matt LaFleur will not prove anything to me until January.
Yeah. I got it now.
It's the only time he will be able to prove anything.
If I felt like you, I would have exactly the same thoughts. So, yeah, you should not be able. I get you can't talk about it.
The text I got was simply cannot happen. Right? And those are the two words that you would see. And Homer, if I told you the Bears were lined up against everybody's third string, with a minute 42 left and you're up like that,
still go,
can't happen.
No.
And if you're up 21-3, and even then, fine, they come out and they score. That's fine in the second half early. But you're there, and look at the number of times that they had that game and could have salted away. You do the same thing. Cannot happen. I don't care who you're playing.
Can I give you an explanation for you that you can use?
No.
Because, no, I can't. It's not a football. Yes, it is. Not a football. So, you're the captain of the Titanic, and it goes down. Only you don't jump off. You keep your job. And they give you another boat, just like the Titanic, and you hit another iceberg, and it goes down again. And then they say, "Hey, we're going to give you 3 more boats."
Not only that, we're going to keep you around. We're going to hit it again.
Yes. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any answer for that.
I would not have renewed him. I think he has shown us what the floor is, which is great. Floor of the Packers right now is the 7th seed, and a lot of teams would take that. The Browns would kill to be the 7th seed every year for a while. Okay? You've shown me what you can do. And you've also shown me your ceiling, which is not the Super Bowl. And there's no way that you can do that. And usually I'm not that, I don't want to be knee-jerkish or whatever, but this is 7 years. And as I said, as you go on, you can reframe history a little bit. because we have more data by which to measure other things. So suddenly now the loss to the Buccaneers looks even worse. The loss to the 49ers in the snow on a botched punt looks terrible. The Browns game looks like, no, that's not terrible. That's not an aberration. That's what he is. That's what he is. He's really that and a half. He does when things start to go wrong, he doesn't seem to be able to pull it out. Doesn't seem to do that. And you can call it a big game or you can call it the Browns games. The number of games that he's lost in excruciating fashion are some of the worst in the franchise history. If you go pick out the 10
some of the worst in NFL history, not just
pick out the 10 worst losses in NFL in the franchise history, the guy's probably got 6 of them.
99%, they tell you there was a 99, 97. Yeah, I like where it's like, look it. If we're going to lose, I want to lose a different way. I'm tired of losing this way, right? You want to change. He has violated the other rule that I have. You can lose, but you cannot embarrass. Embarrassed can get you fired. It didn't in this case, but it has to you, right? I mean, if you were the president, you would have said after the end, I can't take it anymore. Right?
I'm mad as hell and I can't take it anymore.
Yes.
But you're
so
it's.
I risk being wrong. I risk the rule of Don Morton. It could get worse, but that's fine. I'm willing to take that risk because I can't take it anymore.
You could go 3-14 and not suffer losses as painful as he had. And I've said you've given him plenty of time, and the reason and that I'm willing to give you one. Let you fulfill your contract makes me benevolent, and that I'm going to give you another one makes me saintly. Makes me saintly. Yes. Give me 3, and I want to know how is it you ended up with the gun.
See, and I wish you were the president and they knew you, because you would say, look it, we all know I have some sugar, but ain't close to that much. Come on. How nice do you want me to be? I can't do it. So, and that's my fear, because I'm afraid the new president doesn't have an edge either. And this happens, and I have no information, but you have somebody who came from a tough background and made it, and then you have his kid who didn't come from the same tough background. So we'll see. But right now, the president has shown that he has no edge.
Well, some of it is
reflective. He's incredibly bold and willing to take the risk. That could also be the case because he's done what nobody saw coming.
Some of it, I think, is reflective of the Midwest and Green Bay and Wisconsin itself.
Yeah,
right. That is not just the way. And what would happen with the Packer fan, I think, people can honk, scream, or call in, is that in the immediate aftermath, like, yes, we should fire him. And then what would happen is if the search for the new coach, if it didn't happen in 2 days, we'd be like, boy, he really was a good community guy, and he did win a bunch of games. And as it drove into a week, we're like, well, if we're not going to get any better, why do we get run? And by the time it's over in 2 weeks, because all you've done is due diligence and waited for a guy, people are going to be like, I can't believe we fired that guy. Like, we're just too nice people and like that. Like, it's a cutthroat business, right? They cut people. He and Goody and the president, they cut 50 guys, or what can you bring to training camp now? 85 or whatever. They cut 35, 40 guys a year, right? Yeah. So they know the business they're in. And so to say that, we got to be, we're not that cutthroat. We are. And the risk is, right, there's the same thing with Paul Chris, right? That wasn't the Wisconsin way at all. That's not like us. Mm-hmm. That's how we feel. That's not like us. Other people maybe, but not us. And then look, it did get worse. And there's a chance that happens. But I'm willing to live through that. And the Packers too. Fine. Look what happened. They brought in Ray Rhodes. I went, oop, that didn't work. Out in a year. It's the old Ron Wolf. You feel like you make a mistake, get rid of it as soon as you can. Bring somebody in. And I don't know who that is. Like I said, I don't carry a top drawer of who should be my next defensive coordinator, my new head coach in the top of my drawer. I'm not the president of the franchise. I'm not an athletic director that is supposed to have those people ready, who to go talk to. But I feel like somehow he came out of those losses, and whether it was his agent or him, Like somehow he felt he had leverage. Listen, if I don't get 3, I'm going to walk. Okay, go. Yeah. Good. I'll find somebody else to blow a 21-3 lead. I'll find somebody else to ruin a lead in the last minute and 42. I'll find somebody else who can lose in Cleveland. I'll find somebody else who can lose 2 NFC championship games on their home field. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there, right? I'll find somebody who can lose 3 games a year at home.
You're not making anything else. Come on, just say it once for me. I can't take it anymore. Come on.
No,
all right.
No,
it's not your style. Not your style. But yes, I wish if you were the president and you did this, I'd say, look at 7.5 has some sugar. Well, not that much.
I just, I feel like I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen enough. It. And again, until January, I don't know that I can unsee it.
No, yeah, I guarantee you can't unsee it. I don't know you well, but I know you that well. That salt ain't leaving until January.
I do feel I like your point. It's like my dad, who used to be. My dad was the nicest, gentlest, best boss ever, but he grew up and loved Lombardi. And I think deep in his heart, he really would have liked to cuss somebody out, but he was more Bart Starr. He patted him on the butt and said, "You'll get him again tomorrow." So I feel like in my dad's way is what you're saying is completely right. We've literally told the guy, "Hey, you're doing a good job.
Yes.
You'll get him next time. Go out there, buck up, little camper. Your pony will come home." And I don't know that the pony isn't just running free somewhere out at 3 pillars and is not ever coming back. So I'm stunned that he's still here. And if it was my decision, he would not be. And if someday I'm there and Matt LaFleur wins the Super Bowl and wants to go see, I'll go, boy, you are absolutely right. And I apologize. And that's why I'm in the business that I am. And I don't have a laminated flip chart calling plays on Sunday afternoons. But right now, I feel like he's shown us what he can be. And, oh, by the way, the only guy that's ever won a Super Bowl after being with an organization
7 years. Isn't that surprising? That is incredible. It's John Madden. It's Madden.
John Madden.
And he was one of the great losers ever in the history of playoffs, which is why it took that long. And granted, the competition is pretty tough.
And you go look at that. Look at those teams that beat him. The number of teams that went on and won the Super Bowl.
Oh, my gosh.
They almost all did. It was always the Steelers.
Pittsburgh.
It was always the Dolphins. Yes. They went on and won.
Yes.
Right? I'm trying to think that the teams.
All you know is you want to look like John Madden was like 1-8 in conference championship games. He was very unlucky, and it was a tough run. But yeah, and that surprises me that's so clear. You would have think like you win them early, and even guys win them early that stay around for a while and don't win them again. Like the lesson for Harbaugh, the lesson about Tomlin and Harbaugh is, granted, they both won to a certain degree, but you ain't winning another Super Bowl after 7 years. It's over. And no one has said that strongly.
Look at Bisciotti. He sat there in Baltimore, and Bisciotti said, the guy said, "How long are you going to give me?" He goes, "I might give him 6," but he said, Billick won in year 2.
Yes.
And Harbaugh in 5, and Tomlin won early.
Yep.
And like, also, nobody else has suddenly found the magic.
Yes, no one.
Jason Garrett never quite found it in year 8. Yeah. Bart Starr never quite found it in year 8.
It's amazing. Doesn't that stat surprise you a little bit? You think there'd be a few. Maybe there are only 3 or 5.
Maybe the window isn't players. The window is coaches.
Yeah.
We always talk about the window to win with these players. Maybe the window is with coaches after the message falls flat.
Right, and now it could be the money you have to give your quarterback or the aspects of the cap. Jason Wilde is next. I want to tell you about Fisco. It's a family business, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. How can they be this good? It's a family business owned since 1931. It's not what they do, it's who they are. And they're still running the business. They didn't sell it. The Fiscos are still fixing your cars. Imagine the experience they have. Expert workmanship guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. You'll thank them, and then, you'll thank me. And I like that part of it. Fisco Auto Body in Forest Home in Franklin. Fisco. So you remember the name, Jason Wilde, next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Well, we're still dealing with this accident on 94 eastbound at 26th Street off on the right shoulder, so watch for that. We basically have delays coming in from 84th Street all the way to Holly Road and then again through the Stadium interchange to the accident scene, so keep that in mind. Westbound 94 is going to be slow from 17th Street all the way to Holly Road. You're back on the brakes from just west of Calhoun all the way almost to Barker Road. We've also got delays southbound 43 from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way down to about the KK River crossing. Northbound slows down right through the Marquette up towards Locust. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. John Neal and his team know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, snow showers, 2 to 4 inches of accumulation possible, a low of 14. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a chance for afternoon snow showers, a high of 25. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
When a trophy is raised, it can feel like the season's over, but on the ESPN app, it never really is. Because with more than 47,000 live events, plus originals, highlights, and coverage from every corner of the sports world, there's always something to dive into. No off-season, just everything a fan needs to keep going. Always in season, get all of ESPN all in one place. Download the ESPN app on your TV or phone today.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
According to Time magazine, Gen Z is drinking 20% less alcohol than all previous generations. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Over our 65 years in business, we've stayed up on all the trends, where you'll always find 2,000 varieties of beer, 4,000 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines. We now also stock over 100 varieties and growing of THCA, CBD, and Delta-9 non-alcoholic specialty-infused drinks. So whether you're experimenting with the latest wellness trend, or you just want something in your fridge that your college kid can call you cool for, come check out our expansive selection. And while you're at it, you do deserve that bottle of bourbon. Discount Liquor in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow and Maine.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
And visit us online at discountliquorinc.com.
Homer here from ESPN Milwaukee. What makes living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Dave.
The campus is beautiful. For me, nature is my church, and I love being outside. We live by the Bark River, and it's just it's calming. It just calms my soul. I just love it. A lot of the people, I'm talking about 100-year-old people, 90 years old, say they credit Three Pillars with living longer.
Brewers mini ticket plans for the 2026 season are available now with 6-game, 12-game, and build-your-own plan options. You can pick or build the best plan for your schedule, whether you're gearing up for tailgates under the sun, the thrill of the home runs, or the eruptions of walk-off wins. Brewers mini plans have you covered for the 2026 season with specially discounted ticket rates and more exclusive perks in each plan. Check out all the mini plan options available for 2026 now at brewers.com/ticket plans.
This is the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
He is 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, 7'2.5". Take it away.
Oh, Jason Wilde, I don't even know what to say. We spoke before the Bear game. I can't get over it. Here's how I feel. I feel like the president policy had his first big decision to make, and he flinched. Tell me how Matt LaFleur ended up with more leverage in negotiations than the president's after the president of the organization after the way that season finished.
What makes you think he had more leverage, John?
That he got 3 years and that he has that he has a job, and B, that not only does he have a job, he's got 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think they believe in stability. I think they believe that they had a Super Bowl team. If the two, and I hate saying this because then I sound like I'm a Jordan Love hater, which I most definitely am not. But I would argue that they lost the two players that they least could afford to lose. Like, I think they could have won if they'd have kept those two guys and if Malik Willis had to play quarterback for 8 games. That's what I believe. And I think they believe they have the right people. I think they believe they have to win in big moments, which they have not done enough of, which is a completely fair criticism. I think they believe in their roster building philosophy, which I personally believe they need to tweak. But I think they've seen what Matt LaFleur brings out of quarterbacks. I think they've seen what he brings out of his team when they are healthy. And I think we've seen, I think Ed Policy believes that staying the course was better than, like, do you want Kevin Stefanski? Do you want Robert Saleh?
Yes.
Yeah, I okay. You don't. You're sitting this one out because you wanted John Harbaugh, and that's not an option now. So
yeah, and I said Stefanski second. I would have taken him as well.
What? And again, other than the fact that
I don't want to get in the middle of this. This is between you and 7.5. I think if you can win,
you don't want to get in the middle of it. Then why did you interrupt?
I just wanted my position to be accurate.
Well, no one was questioning your position. We weren't even talking to you. But now that you've said that, I want to know why. How is Kevin Stefanski?
Because if you can win it all in Cleveland in that horrific situation with that horrific owner, that's like getting 20th in the Daytona 500, which doesn't mean much, but it does if you're riding a bike.
Jason, I am more wondering where they where are they deriving this belief? What are the results they're basing this belief on?
Yeah, so I think one thing is that they believe that while they made the playoffs each of the last 2 years before the 2025 season, I believe that they pulled that off while rebuilding. Even though they didn't want to admit they were rebuilding, they bottomed out in 2022 in Rodgers last year. If you notice, they made next to no effort that year to add people that were going to help Rodgers immediately, right? They had that draft class, which now is all free agents, by the way, other than Zach Tom and Christian Watson. But I think they believe that they were ahead of schedule, and now they've fallen behind schedule a bit because this was going to be the year. And I still think they would have been there if that's why they make the move for Parsons. Secondly, he did not lose the locker room. You know, I know that there's and again, because I'm giving you their reasoning does not mean that Matt LaFleur and I are drinking wine together and hanging out. I'm not in that picture. And I'm not saying that for you. I'm saying that for others that might be commenting or listening. I'm just telling you what it is. Like, I'm not sure. Look, the truth of the matter is I'm not sure they did the right thing either. I don't know. Like, the guy that I'm looking at, and yes, Matt LaFleur is 16th all-time in winning percentage. And you can't say it's too small of a sample size because he has now been here as long as Mike Holmgren has been here. But of the 15 coaches that are ahead of him on that list, 9 of the 15 are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Now, is Matt LaFleur a Pro Football Hall of Famer? Obviously not. But you know who is? Bill Cowher. And while I would agree with Homer, not on Kevin Stefanski, because you don't know any more about, you just like Kevin Stefanski better because he's not Matt LaFleur. Because we don't know anything about.
I just told you the reason why, and you don't accept that.
I don't. you don't like. How do you know that?
I know
what they
Cleveland's
did have,
horrible, and it's a horrible organization and a horrible owner, and that he achieved what he did in compared to what other people have done in Cleveland is impressive. Not compared to what he did.
You don't like. Maybe they actually managed to put a decent roster together for those years he made the playoffs, right? Yeah, they also spent $1 billion on the worst contract in NFL history, which is really saying something, and that put them underwater. I don't know what he would have done if they hadn't gone out and gotten Deshaun Watson and guaranteed his full contract. I am telling you, you don't know enough about his coaching. You are basing that solely on, these were the results he got in Cleveland. Which is fine. You can do whatever you want. It's your show.
And you're basing LaFleur on his early years when he was one of the best coaches in the first. Yes, you are, because you're using him as the top 15.
I'm not arguing that they should have kept him.
You just said he's one of the top 15 coaches of all time, which is garbage, and you know it because that's all the result of his first 3 years. What?
I am not giving. You gave your opinion. I am not giving my opinion. I am explaining, which is exactly what I was just saying to John. I am trying to explain why they kept him. I'm not trying to convince you that they were right. There's a difference.
I agree with that.
That is his record. Whether you think it's bull crap or what Rob Domofsky would call it and get censored on our show, that's fine. But that's the fact. And, yes, there's also the statistic of there's only one NFL head coach who has gone 7 years without getting to a Super Bowl and then got to the Super Bowl after that, and that is John Madden in his 8th season. I get it. But the guy, you think that he is Steve Mariucci, and I have praised that comp many times because I think you very well could turn out to be right. A guy who was good enough to get you to a lot of places, including NFC championship games, but not good enough to win you a Super Bowl. That could very well be true. He could also be Bill Cowher. Now, Bill Cowher got to a Super Bowl early in his tenure in Pittsburgh. I think it was in his 5th year. Pebble can fact check me on that. Maybe his 4th. And then he had 3 years where he missed the playoffs 3 years in a row. And then in 2005, which I think was his 13th season or 14th season, they go and win the Super Bowl over Mike Holmgren and the Seahawks. Now, is that an outlier? Is John Madden an outlier? Yeah. Now, I don't have in front of me, and if someone in your institute wants to do the research, how many NFL coaches coached for longer than 7 years in NFL history? Because that's like Mike Holmgren won a Super Bowl, got to another one, and he only coached 7 years in Green Bay. He coached longer in Seattle than he did in Green Bay. But this is what I am telling you Ed Policy believes. Now, you are more than entitled to say Ed Policy doesn't know what he's doing. And John is more than entitled, as a lifelong Packers fan, to say, I think that he flinched in his decision on his first big decision. He chose... You could say he chose the safe way. You could say whatever you want. But I don't think that Ed Policy went into this saying there is nothing that can convince me to fire Matt LaFleur or to scrap the whole thing and start. I don't think he went into that. And I also think that knowing how the NFL works and believing that he would be a candidate for a bunch of other jobs. And, I mean, my God, how many jobs did we now end up having open after
10.
McDermott was fired? 10 out of 32. You don't think that there's going to be a bunch next year? Like, if Matt LaFleur, let's say they miss the playoffs somehow. I don't think that's the case, but let's say they do. If that happens, they could totally fire him. And yes, they're going to have to eat some money, but he's going to get another job. And then that's going to be offset. And so it's not like the idea that this gave him some incredibly long rope, I think, is misleading. I think it gives him some, but certainly not the kind of security that anybody would want. He's got to win next year. And if they lose in the first round of the playoffs, could he get Marty Schottenheimered? Yes, I think that's possible.
So,
but again,
Jason, if he has to win next year, why do you give him 3-year extension?
Because you know you're not really going to have to pay that, because he's not one of these, like, there are certainly head coaches
Right, but-
that were inept enough that you knew when you fired him, you knew they weren't getting another job, right? Like Matt Eberflus is never getting another head coaching job. So when the Bears fired him, I don't know how many years he had left on his contract. I think 2. Like Ed Policy has the luxury of knowing, hey, Matt LaFleur's a really good coach. Somebody else is going to hire him. He may not be the guy to get me over the top, which I'm sure he's not saying when he does this, but that could be his thought in the recesses of his mind of, hey, we're not really going to owe all this money, so we can do this.
Well, but I do think when you give him 3 years, you have said everything's okay. I don't know that you've forced his hand. And while I'm not going to argue quite as vehemently about with Homer on win percentage, because I don't know that is a fair indicator, because I'm pretty sure Bill Belichick has a worse winning percentage. And I know for a fact Bill Parcells did, and I know for a fact Joe Gibbs did. So I don't know that, that's kind of the old, we can make the statistics dance on any way we want them to dance when it comes
No
to.
doubt.
I just don't know that they've given Matt LaFleur an incentive to try to change anything. And I feel like something in his coaching, his demeanor, his whatever his way is, needs to be changed. Because I would argue that regardless of, yep, we didn't have Tucker Class. Yep, they didn't have Micah Parsons. And yet they got themselves in a position where they had 2 games against the Bears that cannot and could not be lost, and yet somehow found a way to do that. And I feel like that is where it comes down to it. The fact is he is now here, and what does he have to do? Where's the tweak got to be as you see it?
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of them, and I would argue that no matter how frustrated you are with Matt LaFleur, I would argue that there is no way that he thinks like he can just coast, right, and that he's not under pressure.
Yeah, and I don't think he is a coaster.
I also think he felt a ton of pressure this year, and maybe that affected him, and maybe that's one of the areas he has to be better at is managing that. Like I think he felt like he was coaching for his job all year from the moment that Ed Policy sat with us in the alumni suite and told us all he doesn't believe in lame ducks, which meant either I have to coach my tail off to get a contract extension, or he's going to fire me and he's going to hire someone else because he's not going to have me just on 1-year deal. So again, and my frustrations about the fact that Goody largely escapes criticism in most precincts of the fan base. That's another conversation for when you have more time. But look, I don't know how this is going to work. And I'm not someone who trades an opinion. Homer is an opinionated cat. I don't know if this was the right decision or not. I do know this. I know Matt LaFleur is competitive, as you can see by his feelings for Ben Johnson. I know that he cares about his legacy, and I know he is embarrassed that they lost those 2 games to the Bears. And I think you will get a highly motivated Matt LaFleur. The question I have is whether that motivation supersedes his loyal to a fault about coaches. Because they do need new ideas. They need some fresh blood in some different areas. And I am eager to see how he goes about it. They're obviously going to have fresh blood as a defensive coordinator, and I think that is an enormous hire. He cannot Joe Barry that again. He has to get another Jeff Hafley. I think it's Jim Leonard. I like the idea of Raheem Morris as well. But again, I didn't know who the hell Jeff Hafley was. I vaguely knew he was a college coach. I'm not even sure I knew he was at BC, but he turned out to be really, really good. He's got to get somebody else who ends up being really good and can maximize the talent he has, because they also have a bunch of work to do on that side of the ball personnel-wise.
If he doesn't get rid of the special teams coach, will you still believe that there's this whatever pressure you want to say versus, hey, they like what I'm doing, I'm in charge?
Yeah, I do. I don't think, and we don't have time for this, but I don't believe that he views Rich Bisaccia as the problem. I believe that they believe that their roster building philosophy makes it really hard to be good on special teams. And their kicker completely ruin the game. He escaped a lot of criticism because we were all busy criticizing the defense for giving up 25 fourth quarter points and the head coach for people needing him to be fired. But my God, they lost 7 points on their kicker, who is supposed to be reliable in the postseason, and now has had misses in both of his postseason games with the Packers. So Matt LaFleur values Rich Bisaccia. I personally think that you could keep the things you like about him, culture-wise, kind of grandpa, coach of the team-wise, consigliere-wise, and get someone else to coach special teams. But I don't know if that's something that Matt LaFleur is willing to do.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
Thanks, Jason Wilde, all Packers all the time. Next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Well, we're still dealing with this accident on 94 eastbound at 26th Street off on the right shoulder, so watch for that. We basically have delays coming in from 84th Street all the way to Holly Road and then again through the stadium interchange to the accident scene, so keep that in mind. Westbound 94 is going to be slow from 17th Street all the way to Holly Road. You're back on the brakes from just west of Calhoun all the way almost to Barker Road. We've also got delays southbound 43 from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way down to about the KK River crossing. Northbound slows down right through the Marquette up towards Locust. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. John Neal and his team know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, snow showers, 2 to 4 inches of accumulation possible, a low of 14. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a chance for afternoon snow showers, a high of 25. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Don't miss a full day of nonstop basketball action at the Deer District Prep Showcase, Saturday, January 24th at Fiserv Forum. See the next generation of stars as 12 elite high school boys basketball teams take over the court for 6 can't-miss games. Watch Slinger, Freedom, Arrowhead, West Dallas Central, Racine Lutheran, and more, all in one place. General admission is just $20, and that gets you access to all 6 games. Check the full schedule and grab your tickets now at FiservForum.com. Be there. Feel the energy. The Deer District Prep Showcase, Saturday, January 24th.
The Milwaukee Weight Loss Program has been able to change the lives of thousands of people with this incredible metabolic reset program. We know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no counting points or calories, no drugs, no surgery, and no injections with the risk of serious side effects. There's no better time than now to give yourself the gift of a new you in this new year. Schedule your free consultation now by visiting MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Homer here. I'm starting 2026 off right with Milwaukee Weight Loss. Their team is full of great people who listen to me and my goals through the consultation process. Their program is the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day, and many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. Call for your free weight loss consultation, 262-235-3980, 262-235-3980, or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com, MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Experience hot gaming action and a relaxing spa day. Your perfect winter getaway at the island. Book a stay and float package to get both a standard room and a rejuvenating 60-minute float pod therapy session for less than $100. Complement your stay with an elevated dining experience at Horizon Steakhouse and fun on the gaming floor where big wins wait for you. The Island Resort and Casino's stay and float package runs through February. Call 800-682-6040 to book yours today. Certain days and restrictions apply.
We love the Packers. We bleed green and gold. And every time our team takes the field, well, it's pure football bliss. If only there was a way to experience that blissful winning feeling every day. At Associated Bank, we've got you with 10% off Lambeau concessions and 15% off Pro Shop merch. All when you get Packers checking from Associated Bank. It's how Packers fans keep winning on game day and every day. Associated Bank, Bank of the Packers. Learn more at associatedbank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
It doesn't get any headlines just to be silently good. Big Fish Contracting, we say renovating homes, redeeming an industry.
It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
We're not only educating homeowners, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us. I mean, there's just such beauty in it, you know? If anyone is considering reaching out to us,
Or you can check us out on our website, bigfishcontracting.com.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Sorry, 7-2.5. I got involved, and that means we're like so late we barely have time to even do a show. Milwaukee Weight Loss. The Milwaukee Weight Loss program has been able to change the lives of thousands of people. Lose up to 1 pound of fat every day with no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no counting points or calories, no drugs, no surgery. And I am doing it also because people I know did it, and they said, Homer, this is an easy diet. I said, there's no such thing. Never has been. No, this one's easy. I said, all right, I'm going to find out if it is. Their program is the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two, and it's, I'll say, kind of easy. I'm still working on it. I can't say easy for sure yet, but that's what many told me, and I want to do a diet if anybody says it's easy. 262-235-3980, 262-235-3980, or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. With John Anderson, we have time for you to answer the Discount Liquor Twitter poll question before we have to take another break and then get your final thoughts. Okay. Will Rich Bisaccia be back as special teams coach with the Packers next season?
Yes.
Now, we have yes and no. I wanted hell yes as well, because I think hell yes, because if I'm LaFleur, you're damn right he's coming back. You just gave me a 3-year extension. I might hire one of his relatives.
I'll say this. We have a control group here because either the Packers or the Bills did the right thing, and we'll find out which one, right? Because they're similar situations.
Yeah, well, and actually in Buffalo, he's done way, way, way more, but just hasn't gotten to the Super Bowl. It's a question of, but yeah, they made the decision just like you feel. I've had enough. If we lose, we're going to lose a different way, right?
Yep. So we'll find out. One of those two organizations did the right thing.
Yep.
Next, we'll find out which one.
Right.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
Great. Have a great regular season. What are you going to do in the postseason? This Matt LaFleur era is now basically evolved into regular season. You're going to be fine. Hopefully you can be better than what you've been.
Yeah. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
But you're going to get in the dance. Yep. And then it's going to be, can you do it when the money's on the table? Certainly not the last 2 years.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Make your next activation or event a slam dunk with Captivate Exhibits, your leader in transforming spaces and creating brand experiences that truly stand out and connect. If you can dream it, Captivate can design it, build it, and activate it. From trade shows and events to enhancing interior spaces like your lobby, history wall, or break room, Captivate Exhibits turns ideas into highlight reels. With over 32 years of award-winning experience, Captivate delivers every time, always beating the buzzer. Get started with your next big idea today at CaptivateExhibits.com.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org.
With your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, I'm Will Summers. This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Cudahy senior guard Anthony Brooks. Brooks delivered a historic week for the Packers on the court, helping Cudahy earn 2 wins and continue a strong start to the 2025-26 season. In a 110-78 victory over Random Lake, Brooks poured in 54 points, setting both the school record for points in a game and the program's single-game individual scoring record. The 110 points also marked the most scored by Cudahy in a game since the 1969-70 season. He followed up that performance by leading the Packers to a 65-64 win over South Milwaukee, scoring 29 points and hitting 4 clutch free throws late to secure Cudahy's first non-conference win since January of 2023. Congratulations to Anthony Brooks, your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Ben Brust here for the Princeton Club. If you're looking for your better tomorrow, you know where to go. It's the Princeton Club. If you're looking to grow, it's also the Princeton Club, because they will cheer for you in all areas of your life. The best way to do that is to start a foundation of having a healthy body, and your growth will start from there. With the cleanest health clubs in Wisconsin, they provide everything for you to reach your goals. Join before January 31st to get the lowest rates of 2026. Make sure you join the Princeton Club for a better tomorrow.
Selling your home during winter may surprise you. Serious buyers are still out there and often more eager to move.
Homes get strong offers this time of year, and with less competition, your listing can really shine.
I'm Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates, powered by Keller Williams.
And I'm Lindsay Bendler. Our team leads with faith, gratitude, and giving back, donating over $200,000 to local causes since 2020.
Tony Wendorf & Associates is ready to get to work for you with our white glove selling experience. Just search online, Tony Wendorf.
A real estate team that always leads with faith and gratitude.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
7-2.5, John Anderson. That's how high he high jumped. Now he has to tell me if I need another governor. My tweet, Rashawn Gary must never play another down for the Packers, a message that needs to be sent to all Packers coming back. He got his money, and I believe he quit on the Packers this season. I refuse to believe he can be that bad. All right, Governor.
I don't like to accuse people of quitting, because I don't know. You know, that's a very hard.
I don't
statement
either. It is a harsh statement. Yes.
He did not earn his money, and if he wishes to play again, he will have to give back to earn that opportunity. How about that?
Would you like him back on the Packers next season?
I would take him over Lucas Van Ness, but I know one's going to come cheaper than the other.
That is such a good answer. That is such a good answer. Because it's not really an answer, is it? Is it? You're saying Van Ness is worse. Yeah.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
You sneak that salt in with the most sugar possible. All right. Running a business means taking care of your team and your bottom line. For over 50 years, Saganiac Planning has helped small businesses build smarter, more affordable medical and employee benefit plans. They've been doing it so long. Big business, small business, they can handle it all, from health insurance to customized coverage options. Saganiac Planning's experts make it simple to protect whatever to protect your people and your future. Saganiac Planning. Call John Saganiac Jr., 262-783, Roger Maris, 6161. We have ESPN Radio, but it's John Anderson. You can talk whatever you want, and we'll be a little late getting to ESPN National. You got something you didn't get to say? I didn't ask you about Giannis.
I was just going to say, when you were discussing how bad the Cleveland ownership was, I kept going, but doesn't that guy own the Bucks now?
Yes,
That's
and I'm
where
very
we are
worried.
on that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
that's
worried
where
about
we
the
are on
Bucks
that.
with him?
Yeah, I fear that from day one. That they will now be, that is not the best ownership situation.
Come on, but he's better than the guy with the Knicks. Can you say that? You want to go there? You got that one? You got another Van Ness? I'm going to call him Van Ness. That's going to mean something in the future, a Van Ness.
It's tough to beat James Dolan when it comes to being a Dolphin.
Just realize you created something, a Van Ness. I don't think this is the last time it'll ever be used. ESPN National Radio in progress, because he's John Anderson.
See you, gang.
Things are slowing down around the area still.